This news now with Emmanuel Abadji-Yafi. Good evening to you, Emmanuel.
Good evening, Izzy. How are you doing?
I'm well. How about you?
I'm fine, thank you.
All right, great.
Many thanks for joining me on Business Tonight. Good evening and welcome. Now, First Lady Rebecca Akufo-Addo has called on women entrepreneurs to strive to excel in their roles at the boardroom level. She was speaking at the launch of the AGI Women in Business initiative during day 2 of the AGI Industrial and Exhibition Expo in Accra. There's more in this report.
The day also saw some captains of industry exchange thought leadership ideas on business competitiveness. First Lady Rebecca Akufo-Addo in a speech called for more women to take up roles in the boardrooms, arguing that the best performing businesses the world over are those with majority women workforce. Speaking at the launch of the AGI Women in Business, the First Lady resolved to provide the best support to help make women in business more competitive.
Companies with female leadership tend to do better in many respects. Firms with more women at the top are more focused on better environmental stewardship. So a lot more needs to be done. For example, in my opinion, there are far too few women in our boardrooms. This excludes much of the unique contributions of women to decision-making in our corporate world.
Touching on the Continental Free Trade Agreement, Rebecca Akufo-Addo charged the AGI to adapt pragmatic steps to stay ahead of their game so as to reap the desired benefits.
The formation of this group is timely and relevant because several international trade protocols are impacting on the way we do business. It is therefore incumbent on our local businesses to be ready for this new dawn. Individually, you have formed companies and enterprises of repute, which are serving the Ghanaian economy and international markets.
On his part, President of the AGI, Dr. Yaw Odujemfe, reaffirmed the AGI's resolve to put women at the forefront of decision-making to make them more competitive within the African market.
Vice President and the founder of association, the person of late Dr. Mrs. Esther of Included fame, the fact that it was founded by a woman makes it mandatory that we pay special attention to our women in this association.
The launch saw women executives of the AGI Women in Business adorned, while the First Lady interacted with some exhibitors on display at the exhibition.
Now, farmers are expected to gain easy access to credit following the recent financial services sector cleanup. That's according to the Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta. He made the comments during the launch of the 35th Annual Farmers' Day celebration, which will be held in the Volta region. Here's more in this report.
Speaking at the launch of this year's Farmers' Day celebration, Minister for Finance Ken Ofori-Atta revealed that government has so far spent some 1.4 billion cedis under the Planting for Food and Jobs initiative to boost the agric sector. The minister also noted government has taken several initiatives to address the old-age challenge of poor access to funds faced by farmers across the country.
We expect that the re-energized financial sector will lead to a more improved credit environment. Mr. Chairman, as you know, we have recapitalized ADB, Agric Development Bank, to ensure that they meet the minimum 400 million requirement that the Bank of Ghana requires. And I think that was approved in the last EGM a couple of weeks ago. In addition to this, Mr. Chairman, we have set up GERSEL, which is supposed to be a risk mitigant for the banking sector, so that banks can go much longer and give more credit to farmers and agribusiness.
Minister for Agriculture Dr. Owusu Efriye Akoto stressed government's ambition to engage the youth through greenhouse farming to increase vegetable production.
Greenhouse villages with modern technological systems of vegetable production have been established at training centers at Dawenya, Akomadan, and now coming on in Kaswa. This intention aims at promoting vegetable production and youth entrepreneurship, with prospects of high earning incomes through the export of vegetables. It will also help to attain self-sufficiency in vegetable production and reduce importation with its adverse effect on the country's balance of payment.
Meanwhile, Deputy Minister for Fisheries and Aquaculture Francis Atukujo noted more efforts were being put in place to enhance aquaculture and fishing business.
The ministry will enhance the provision of extension services delivery to small-scale fish farmers to equip them with the necessary technical knowledge and skills on site selection, pond and cage construction, water quality management, fish disease detection, and prevention, and post-harvest handling. With this, fish farmers will be able to improve their production by adapting relevant technologies. We will facilitate the development of markets and access by small-scale fishers and farmers under the Market Development and Accessing component of the Aquaculture for Food and Jobs program.
This year's Farmers' Day will be hosted in the Volta region under the theme Enhancing Small-Scale Agriculture Towards Agribusiness Development. For Joy Business, Sheila Tamaklo reporting.
Now, Chairman of the Western Region Association of Rural Banks, Dr. Tony Orbin, is urging rural communities to be sure of getting back their investments placed with rural banks in the country. According to him, the panic created as a result of the cleanup in the financial sector has not gotten to the rural banks, hence no cause for alarm. He was speaking after the Joy Business Financial Services Forum in Accra.
Why people put their monies under their pillows is that they are afraid that somebody will take it away. So they hide it under their pillows. They find the banks to be very safe. So where these people go to the banks and they are unable to access their funds, the rippling effect is even to the other person who wanted to bring it. You know, so I think the recent exercise, which though very important, naturally had some downside implication on the confidence of the people. Fortunately, the Bank of Ghana has repeated, and I'm saying this because of the kind of space that we occupy in the rural setting. The Bank of Ghana is saying that the cleanup is over, so there shouldn't be any panic. Because, you know, those are my people in the rural areas, sometimes they get worried. What is Accra saying? The people in Accra, what are they saying? Now that they are saying the cleanup is over, the reform continues, and I agree that reform should continue. It must be an ongoing thing. But the cleanup, the closure of banks, so that's over. So people in the rural bank must be setting, must be relaxed, and go back to the banks and put your money there. So that's the message I'm carrying with me now and to my people at the rural areas. Yeah.
And in our local wrap tonight, Finance Ministry to release 50 million Ghana cedis for teachers transfer grants. Details next.
Corporate governance consultant Marian Bano has charged regulators in the financial services sector to be sterner in executing its powers to ensure better compliance among stakeholders. Madam Bano was speaking on the third edition of the Joy Business Financial Services Forum on the topic, the financial service sector cleanup, now what? The Ministry of Finance has authorized the Controller and Accountant General to release 49.99 million Ghana cedis to pay outstanding transfer grants and other allowances to qualified staff of the Ghana Education Service. Graphic Online reports payment covers accumulated arrears from 2017 to 2019. The Volta Regional Directorate of the National Petroleum Authority (NPA) has locked up the tank and dispensers of the Radiance petrol filling station in Ho for investigations into a suspected adulterated diesel. The Volta Regional Manager of NPA, Rashid Dauda, who disclosed this to the Ghana News Agency, said a customer reported of suspected adulterated product after filling his tank, which made the vehicle immobile.
And that's all in business in the first segment. Of course, I have more business news for you coming up after 8 p.m. Don't go away.